All right, guys. Yeah, I had a good little scrimmage today. I think we ended up 76 plays, so it was right where we wanted to be today. It was short and sweet. A lot of young guys got reps today, and some newcomers made some plays as well. Also wanted to see some field goals in an atmosphere like this, and that was good. We knocked those down as well. Then I thought Fletch punted the ball really good today as well. So overall it was a good day. I think both sides made some plays, and that's what you want to see anytime you have a scrimmage like this.
There's a lot more to your offense than what people saw today that was surprising.
Just we're in spring practice, and and again, when you're playing a lot of young players, you can't do a whole lot when you're out there. You want to be simple and let those guys play, and obviously not game planning anything today, just kind of running plays out here today, and so we'll see what the guys do.
Brendan was talking about the fact that there's a night and day difference between coming in his first year last year and this year. What kind of growth have you seen from him, and what kind of improvement can you expect?
Yeah, I think, as a quarterback, you first get in here, you got to learn all the guys, number one, and before you even learn the offense. And so for him, he's been here a year. He knows all our guys, knows the offense, knows what we're trying to do. He's just got a lot more poise, a lot more confidence. And he, running the offense. And I think that's more than anything. This game has really slowed down in his mind. And I think that's the key factor. And then it's all about taking care of the football and making good decisions at that point. And he's got all the tools in the world. We got to put good players around him and put them in good position to make plays.
Does that help not only on the field but off the field in terms of leadership?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a really good leader. We got a lot of great leaders on this team. I think we had the captain's breakfast this morning, which is a great tradition that we have. And we had all our seniors come up there. We got a bunch of great senior leadership on this team. These guys are connected. They've worked their butts off and looking out for a big year this year in the Big 12.
What did you think of Stephen Brustad, first real chance to show in front of people what he did last year and what he's carried?
Yeah, I thought he was very, very solid today. He had a couple long ones today. It's really good to see. He's worked hard, this whole spring for him, and I think for him to go out here, this environment's good. It's kind of a game day environment. He knocks them down. They're right down the middle, and which is good to see. I think that's why we got him. We got to be able to knock these field goals down. We know how critical they are. We've been in a lot of close games in the last 2 years, and we got to be able to knock them down to be able to get over the hump to win these games.
How do you like the offense right now? Kind of compared to your expectations or comparing comfort levels at this point?
Yeah, I think, we're still work in progress. I do think, when we're ready to put our best 11, 12, 13, 14 guys out there, I think we're going to be a very solid offense. I think the running backs have had a really good spring. Tawee's been a great addition. Caldwell's a great addition on the outside. Cyrus. We didn't have Tony today, didn't have Caleb today, so a couple of guys didn't go today. So I love our tight end room. I think those guys, grown up another year, those freshmen, and then you add, a guy, Pat Gerd, who came in from Ohio State, is a great blocker for us. So I'm excited about our offense, and I think we've got an opportunity to go out there and be able to score a lot of points this year.
Would you like to get to the point where you play another team?
I would not mind playing another team. I think when you get to practice toward the end of spring practice, you're tired of hitting each other. It's a little bit like camp. In August, you get tired of hitting somebody, you want to play somebody else. I think it's a good opportunity too. When you think about playing in the spring, a spring game or a spring scrimmage like this, if you're playing somebody else, you only have to worry about 11 guys on the field at one time as opposed to 22. So because these are all our guys out here, when you think about injuries and that type of thing, and also getting wore down. So I think it's a great opportunity to showcase your team a little bit, play young guys, just like the NFL does when they're doing inter-squad scrimmages and type thing. I think the fans will really come out. It'll be an opportunity to go out and make some money for your programs as well. Yeah. You don't like to see it offense, but I love to see it on defense. We were, I don't know if we were last in the conference last year, maybe in the interception. I think we had 5. So to get 2 picks today was awesome for those guys in the back end. I mentioned this early in the spring. We had a practice where they got about 5 picks. It was great to see. You don't want them just knock the ball down. We want to get the ball back. And so, great interception on the right sideline over here. And Kai Stokes made another one right here in the end zone to keep them out of the end. Those are game-changing type plays. We got to be able to do that.
There's been a lot of talk about the defensive line, obviously, getting the guys back from injury, transfers, and then 2 freshmen who look like they have Big 12 size. What have you seen from them? How much are you looking for?
Yeah, didn't play Hunt really today much. Didn't play Corleone. So some of our big boys up front we didn't play. But I think some of the two guys that we brought in, I think have really done some really good things. CJ's very fast off the edge. I think and then the young guys are still going to come on. They're growing. They're getting better. You can't have enough depth up front. That's the one thing in the Big 12. When you lean on these big guys week in and week out, you got to be able to rotate those guys, put more big bodies in. So we just got to continue to stay healthy. That's the big thing that I worry about. It bit us a little bit last year. So we got to stay healthy up front. That's the main thing, to have that depth.
Speaking about the depth down there, defensive line, Michael Coleman back from injury.
Yeah, he's a 6'5", 265-pound edge guy. Gives you some length on the outside. I think for him coming off the injury from last year, working himself back into playing shape and really getting reps up front, I think he'll be a really good addition for that, because he's something different. We don't have a 6'5" body out there with long arms. So, that's another addition to the pass rushing that they can try to implement there. So excited for Micah, and I know he'll have a great summer and a great fall.
Barnes going to get on the field in the fall? I mean, it was quite the pick there.
Yeah, it's great. Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's going to get on the field. I mean, I think he's a little, not very big, but he plays bigger than he is, but that was a great interception. He also will come down and strike you. He's very physical for a small player. He's gotten a ton of great reps this spring. I think he'll be certainly in the rotation and be out there, and he'll be a special teams menace as well.
Brendan talked about Caffey kind of running the ball a lot today, but it seemed like he was really trudging his knees and staying up.
Yeah, it's great for Caffey. It's great work for him. We didn't want to see as much, as our first couple of guys. We want to give Caffey a lot of work today as being a freshman, and he's a big body. And it was great to see him break some tackles today, stay up, turn the big yards out. Chance had a big run there, 50-yard run as well. So I'm very pleased with the running back room. I think we got many weapons that'll be able to go out and play for us next year.
Speaking of guys, there was obviously a safety last year. Transition to cornerback interception today. What have you seen from him, and how has he adapted to that?
He's still growing and still learning that position, but he gives you great length and athleticism on the outside. If he's able to do it, I mean, that's a stud at corner now. I mean, there's not many guys that big that can play, that can move like him. Great interception there in the red zone. I think he's continuing to grow, and I hope, because he's such a great kid. You're pulling for him. You want him to be able to go out there and make plays for us.
Spring portal opens on the 16th. Planning any additions, any specific positions you could add depth?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we're open to everything. We'll see what's out there. We'll meet with our guys and see where we're at with any position of need. We all talked about potentially offensive tackle. We talked about that in the winter, so we'll see what's out there when that comes around. Any position that we may need, to try to get another body in here for depth, just to get in the rotation, we'll look for that as well. But I don't foresee us getting very many guys. If we do, maybe 2, 3, 4 guys, something like that. We'll see how it works out.
Will it be as crazy as the basketball portal?
I hope not. That's crazy what's going on in the world of basketball right now. I think in football, most of the craziness happens in midterm. I think hopefully most teams have settled in at this point, and so you're only trying to fill in a few spots. So I don't think it'll be anywhere near what's happening in that sport right now.
Brendan, what was this day like, being able to, obviously really good weather, but also in front of fans, kind of put the game day atmosphere?
It was good to be back. We had a good turnout from all the fans out here, a bunch of families and friends. It was good to be back with some fans in the crowd, and obviously we wish that we would have put the ball in the end zone a little bit more, but overall, solid, productive day. Defense did a great job, and just felt good to get back out here.
From the start of spring to now, how do you feel the offense is kind of developed?
Obviously, having a bunch of new guys, it's obviously going to move a little slower in the beginning. I think we've done a great job of just getting better daily, and our new wideouts, new running backs, whatever it may be, new linemen, just learning the system a little bit better daily and finding ways to improve. I think it was a massive to get all these new guys in here, new weapons, and I think it's going to show up a lot in the season.
How important is it, Brendan, to have a full season under your belt in this program and a full off season, and now you hit the ground running ready?
It's completely different. Just the feel from last off season to this one. Last off season, I'm obviously coming in, trying to learn a new playbook, new system, meet all of the guys. Now it's like everybody else that's coming in, obviously building relationships with them, but obviously being the quarterback is just a completely different feeling, and being in the system for a year and everything, having that under my belt has just been huge for me.
How does that help you lead the offense and maybe assist some of those new players you're talking about, bring them along more quickly? Yeah,
that still helps me, obviously having to coach it to those guys that are new, and having to teach them the new offense that they're coming into. I know it now, obviously being in it for a year, so it's been huge for me to get to help those guys and get them lined up out on the field, whatever it may be, and even if we're just in the weight room and giving them pointers, all that, and just being the leader and the vocal leader for this team.
Who caught your eye today?
What'd you say?
From the sideline, who caught your eye?
Obviously just the wideouts did a great job. Jeff made a good play whenever Licky threw that ball up to him. That was a good one to see. Jacorian Caffey ran the ball 150 times today, so that one caught my eye. I'm over there feeling bad for him. I'm like, geez, I run 5 yards to carry out my fake, and I'm exhausted, so I feel bad for him.
Last question.
Zeb Kinsey kind of had a welcome to the college moment. What was it like to see that happen to a freshman?
I mean, he's in my room, so I'm not like thrilled about it. I don't want anybody just get just killed, but it was good to see him obviously get out there and get hit around a little bit. I think he enjoyed it. But yeah, it was good to see him out there, and he's just going to continue to grow as a player.
Your athleticism on the interception, kind of on the sideline. Have you had a play like that? What were you kind of going through your mind, just kind of tracking Brendan over by the sideline?
It was a scramble drill, so I was just trying to attach to a body, make sure that the dude that I attached to wasn't able to catch the ball. Whenever I just seen the ball, I just attacked it and tried to keep my toes in bounds, and I did.
Looked like you had some fun throwing the ball into the stands after that.
Yeah, just trying to express my emotions, you feel me? So.
Coach says you have a little, like if you don't catch the ball, you're going to pop the guy pretty good.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely got to deliver a lick whenever it's time to do that.
Can walk us through what this transition has been like for you, obviously, coming from Mexico. What's this transition been like?
It's been pretty big. I'm from down south, coming up here to the Midwest, so some different things to get used to. But so far, I'm liking it. I'm enjoying my time here. It's been everything that I thought it would be. And, I'm continuing to get comfortable with the defense and just as a whole, everything.
Attitude's a big deal on defense. What kind of attitude do you bring?
I say, aggressive. I'm not gonna back down from nobody. Regarding how big or small that he is, I'm gonna bring everything I can every play.
What do you do to sharpen your ball skills to give you the ability in that moment and that great second happens to make a play on the ball and actually deliver with an interception for a team that only had 5 interceptions last year? It's going to be huge to boost that as well.
Just continue to practice. I get on the jug machine. Throw the ball with some of my teammates. Just continuing to just build my catching. You feel me? Just pre-practice and things like that. Trying not to bat the ball down, attack everything I can with 2 hands, and be aggressive and strong with it.
Xavier Williams and Christian Harrison also came in this past portal. What's it been like to kind of play with them, grow with them, and kind of learn from them as well?
They've been 2 great teammates of mine. I got great relationships with them. I'm trying to learn as much as I can from them. X being his last year, grad year. He's been in the game a long time. He knows a lot more. He has a lot more experience than me. I'm just continue trying to learn from him. You feel me? Christian, he's been at the big level. He's seen a lot of competition, played against a lot of competition. He's real good. And, I'm trying to pick up on little things that he does too. It's been great with them. I'm trying to learn and to continue to grow my game.
A little bit, obviously, his first year, your first year. Walk us through that relationship so far.
It's cool, just continue just to grow it, build it. It's been pretty good. He's great at coaching. I'm picking up on everything I need to and whatever he's trying to teach. You feel me? I'm doing real good with it.
Was that the easiest, most straightforward interception you've had in a while?
Yeah, I'd say so. I was almost hoping it was going to go straight to the receiver, give me a little hit in, but I'll take whatever comes to me. But I already know coming in on Monday, coaches are going to get on me about getting to the sideline. I was thinking about my running back days and try to cut it back across the field, but I ended up getting hit a little bit, so kind of backfired on me a little bit.
Coach Satterfield said the interception is going to be a big point of emphasis because you guys had so few last year. What have you seen from Christian Harrison, Xavier Williams, Taden Barnes, Matthew McDoom that they could possibly add to that statistic?
Those guys are real hard workers. They're ball hawks. They're always around the ball. They just know their job and they do it very well. So I'd say just like overall, not just them, but all the DBs, we execute at a high level. And if we execute at a high level, that's when the ball is going to come to us.
That hit came right, I think, after your dad was on the big screen there. Is that incentive? He's an intimidating dude.
Oh, yeah. I heard his voice. I was like, hold on, is that my dad? So I had to look back at the video board and was like, oh, yeah, that is him. But that wasn't really like a big thing I was really worried about. I was just worried about playing. But yeah, he's always like told me to like block out the background noise, and that to me was kind of like background noise, so I just blocked that out a little bit.
You spent several years in this program now. How much are you looking forward now to taking that next step, leadership, and how is that process developed for you?
Yeah, I'm really excited. From freshman year to now, I feel like I've grown a whole lot, just not as a football player, but also as a man. This past winter workouts, this last December through February, they really challenged me on coaching on my teammates and just doing the little things to help my teammates be as best as they can. So I'm still challenging myself to be more outgoing and talk to everyone on the team rather than just the people in my position group.
How hard have you worked in the weight room to get bigger from days A and L to now?
I work so hard. You know, these strength coaches, they know what they're doing. The nutritionists, they were making sure that we're eating the right foods and getting the right, just fueling our body the right way. Freshman year, I came in here at about 180 pounds, and now I'm at 210. So, I mean, that's a big difference, and, you know, I'm still looking to get bigger and stronger.
The pick was great, the punch out your trademark. Is that taught? Is that instinct? How do you consistently do that?
It's a little bit of both, for sure. Before practice, or not before practice, but during practice, we'll usually have a tackle period and a turnover circuit, and they usually work punching the ball out, going from behind and punching it out. So yeah, I feel like we put a big emphasis on turning the ball over, getting more turnovers since we didn't have that many this past season. So that's something that we really need to work on, getting more turnovers.
Antoine, looking at your breakout year last season, what would you say you excelled the best at in your game, and then what was the top thing you were trying to improve on individually?
My top thing that I did individually, I'd say my tackling and just like getting to the ball as best as I can. You know, last year, I mean, obviously it wasn't what we were expecting, but they always told us, Coach Veit mainly was like, relentless pursuit. That's something that we're still talking about today, relentless pursuit. And if we're all pursuing to the ball, then we just get to live another down, so that's a big emphasis that we've been putting on.
What about the emphasis on finishing games? Obviously, everybody knows how the season started, how it ended. Has there been a focus, especially on defense and finishing games?
Most definitely. We talk about consistency a lot in the defensive unit room, and something that like really resonates with me is what DeMar Hamlin said during one of his interviews, and it said consistency is the true mark of greatness. And just like that just really resonates with me, and it should resonate with the whole team, because if we're not consistent, then we're not going to win games. So we need to be consistent, not as just the defense, but also as an offense, and what will get us to win games.
A lot of people, when they go from walk-on to scholarship, would be satisfied. But not only did you do that, you're also PFF Team of the Week, trying to get on the field even more and start. What is it about you that when you went through that journey, you weren't satisfied and you wanted to continue to take the next step to be a real contributor?
You know, the first step for me, it was getting on special teams. Special teams was what my dad was telling me is the most important step, like the first step. So I was just working hard on scout special teams, and eventually all the coaches recognized what I was doing. They noticed I was working hard every single day, putting a whole lot of effort in. So that was my first step. And then just like going forward, I'd say it's just always putting in 100% effort, you know, no matter what. And yeah, I'd say that's the big thing that we were kind of talking about already, just finishing everything, and there's always room to improve.
Walk us through your relationship with Coach Lips. Obviously, first year there, back there in the secondary. Walk us through what it's been like having him around this spring so far.
He's a really good coach. He brings a whole lot of energy to the secondary, and you know, he's a really good dude. You know, I just love having him around, and just the energy that he provides for the whole defense.